catch you later.
Of course you will. You know why?
Because I'm Wynonna Earp. Here I come.
What now, Earp?
Same as always. Just have fun out there.
Fuck yeah.
God, stupid Earp. That influence. Clear eyes of a rock, can't lose. There's always a crisis.
Business as usual.
Wynonna Earp, crazy chick with a demon-killing god. There's only I know. Fuck it up. Fuck. My face. Not the face. It's been through so much. What is she doing? Something stupid. Hands up! I was just hoping for a hug.
Hello, Earpers! Are you guys ready? My name's Kat, and my co-moderator is going to be Tara. Hi, Tara.
Hello.
We're from the She Nerds Out podcast. That's a blatant plug. But we're here to talk about some vengeance. Are you guys ready? Please welcome to the stage Emily Andrus, Danny Kind, Greg Lawson, Dom PC, and Kat Burrell.
Here they come.
Am I close to you or far from you? You're always close to me.
Oh, good. Always.
You're my comfort.
Oh, thank you. You did
person.
amazing. You're going to do amazing. I brought you my tea. I didn't bring you tea. Oh, God.
It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you all for being here. So, before we get started, we have a very special message from a certain cowboy who couldn't be here. So let's go ahead.
John Wayne?
Yes. Let's roll that.
I just wanted to say hi, and I wish I was there with everybody for such a special, momentous occasion. The Earpers have finally made it home to Wynonna, to Calgary, and man, I wish I was there for it. Must be one heck of a weekend. I hope you all loved Vengeance. I hope you all loved our crew, and I miss everybody, and I hopefully will see you all very soon.
And of course, you know, we all know that Melanie Scrofano really wanted to be here in person. But what about via Zoom? You guys okay with that? Melanie Scrofano is in the chat. Welcome.
Yeah.
And she can see you guys, so this is pointing at you guys, so she can see you. So that's awesome that you gave her such a big welcome. Okay. Emily wants you to know, Melanie, that the cast and crew looks really hot.
It's a lie.
And just a quick special thanks to Earptopia crew, the AV crew, and for Melanie and her team to make this happen. So Melanie, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Earptopia. Thank you, the guys in the back. Those guys in the back are heroes. All right. Yes. All right, let's get started. Emily, we're going to start with you. So 5 minutes into the special, Mercedes is dismembered. And her limbs are used to spell out Earp in the snow. Very dramatic.
Yep.
And that was, for me, the first moment of the special where I audibly said, "What the hell?" So Emily, my first question is for you. What the hell?
Yeah. That's
And then
fine.
Danny, my follow-up is what the fuck?
Yeah.
But-
what the fuck?
I'll take
What
what
the
Yeah,
fuck?
but Emily, why don't you go first?
Did you feel bamboozled?
No, I said this earlier. You and I have had this phone call before.
17 times.
Because I've died a few times.
Yeah.
So when you texted me and said, can we get on a call? I was like, oh, fuck, I'm in trouble. And then I was like, wait, maybe not. Maybe not. And then we got on the call, and Emily spoke a mile a minute. I don't know if you've ever hung out with her. And said, you're going to die, but Wynonna's going to avenge your death, and then it's going to be a great death. And I was like, I'm in. I'm fucking in. Like, whatever, man. I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay, so what the hell? Here's the hell. I'm gonna say the M word. It is a movie. Yeah, I said that over time. It's not a series, so we needed something massive and important and emotional to get Wynonna home. And I want you guys to be so discombobulated that you just keep asking Tubi for more. So I'll be your villain. Yeah. And I'm glad you all cared so much. And also, I will say it one more time, don't you just love that Mercedes, I feel like Mercedes' character journey evolved like so many people that like she died saving Nedley instead of taking off, right? Like she had her hero moment. Yes. So you're welcome.
So why Mercedes? What was the thought process that Mercedes her death would be the one to bring Wynonna home?
Because I thought it was the perfect combination. I think Mercedes and Wynonna had a complicated relationship. They were friends, but Mercedes was often looking out for Mercedes. Do you know? Is this fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I also felt like it was the right tone where everybody would be worried and concerned, but I really did need a wake where everybody else could get drunk and pick a fight. Do you know what I mean? I truly believe Mercedes would have wanted it to be a panty dropper. Agreed? So it just felt, and honestly, like, I did kind of want to shock everybody a little bit, so,
It was
okay.
a good one.
I'm treading waters. Mel, say something. Oh. Yeah, okay. Okay, gotcha.
And I think the big question is really, can vampires survive dismemberment?
Yes, I can see Mercedes as a head in a pizza box giving everyone else sex advice. Like, just stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Okay.
An
Greg.
oracle of sorts. Something amazing. Yeah.
Okay, Greg and Danny. I'm down here on this side now. I'm another talking. Oh, hi. And the Mercedes and Randy friendship, Ransadies or Mirandy, haven't quite figured that one out. That was a nice surprise. So, you're both very loyal. You've obviously been through a lot. What were your favorite qualities about each other? And what do you think, how long have you been doing these fishing dates? And, it justifies this custom fanny pack. What does that evolution of friendship look like for you guys?
I think that Mercedes taught Randy the word "riz," and that's something he enjoys. And I think that she taught him how to make the shortbread martini. No, it was an interesting development. First, she beats me up in one episode, and then she nurtures me back to health in another episode, and it just sort of makes sense that they would become friends because they're opposites. Or maybe not opposites, I don't know. But it just seems like a good match for friendship. Who would you rather fish with,
Oh.
What'd she say?
I said Mercedes, Ken.
Oh my God! That's why you became an actress.
Oh, so many holes still available.
Anyway.
Yeah, thank you, Mel.
Back to the touching thing you were saying, Greg.
she did work at the glory hole, so this matches. Yeah.
Danny, what do you think about their friendship?
I agree. I think they're like a bit of a yin and a yang. So she probably pulls exciting things out of him, and he probably not like that. Not like that. Not like that.
There's literally nothing you can't say.
I know.
That can't be taken the
I am
wrong
a
way.
good person. And I think that he calms her down. And I also think they both like to drink together. So that is like the common denominator there. And also, I fucking love fishing. So I love that you guys wrote that in for me. Yeah. I thought it was
Fun
real.
fact.
Fish tattoo, right? Oh my God. Yeah.
Melanie, can you hello? Can you talk a little bit about where we see when we first see Wynonna and Doc? You know, when they're back in their hotel room counting up the money. There's obviously some tension. Can you talk about the sort of their dynamic of when we see them at the beginning of the special?
Yes, but first I'd like to say, sorry to interrupt a touching moment.
Never apologize for that.
Head would be in pizza box. Anyway. Yeah, so I think Doc and Wynonna are living what they kind of thought would be their best lives, and I think that they are, even though they're having a lot of fun together, I think they're both trying to be the other person's, the version of themselves that the other person wants. So it's not necessarily the most restful, even though it seems like they're having fun in casinos, and I have fun in that casino. I think that they're also just kind of playing a bit of hide and seek with each other.
Yeah.
And Mel, please do not apologize for being yourself. And you know, whatever else you want to type on the screen, please feel free to do that.
I also didn't know how it would work. I was testing it.
It worked perfectly.
Now we're in trouble. No. Kat, over here now. Hello. Okay. I know it's very confusing. Wynonna comes back to town. You seem a little upset at Waverly for making that happen without talking to you first. Can you tell us a little bit about where your relationship with Waverly is at that point? Yeah, Mel might help you out there. But and how that might have, obviously there was something going on already there. Can you go walk us through that time in your relationship?
I think, well, I think Nicole has just gotten everything under control. You know, we see her, she's sauntering down the street saying hello to everybody and ordering flowers. And I just think she's like, fuck. Of course. I think deep down she knows though that something's gonna happen. And I do think she was a little, I don't know. There's a lot of tension there in that little exchange of I wish you had told me she was coming, and you know, I don't need permission to call my sister, that little moment. And I think Nicole's like, oh man, I just got things good and it's chill, and here comes sinner sister number one to fuck it all up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that leads us to Dom. Again, Wynonna and Waverly, like you said, they're already fucking things up. They're at Mercedes' wake, getting trash. You know, it's really your first time being out with Wynonna again. And again, the fight breaks out. Can you talk about where Waves is emotionally in that scene? And obviously there's a lot of conflict going on internally.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she's just ecstatic to have her sister back. Just the giddiest version of Waves ever, you know, obviously she's in a really happy place in her life, and she's having a beautiful time with Nicole, but Waves is an Earp, even if she's not an Earp, she's an Earp, you know? And she has that fire inside her, and I think that, of course, she's been missing that.
Right, absolutely. And Kat, one of the funniest moments is when you break this shit up at the bar. You know, you have the Sinner Sisters, like you said. So you have to do that. Then you go back to the sheriff's station and get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
At the time, you were pregnant.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what that was like, just the physicality of it, just in general, and then also with the pregnancy on top of it?
Yeah, I think it was the most physicality I'd almost ever done in Wynonna. So I was like, okay, reading
Really
this
got
book.
tossed around.
And then
you
I
know?
get beaten up again. No, it was, listen, our team was so great. Emily and Steve, who you guys met earlier, were so great at making sure I felt safe and taken care of, to the point of like putting sound blankets over my belly when there was like any sort of like loud noises. And I just, I felt very, very safe. Like, there was no better set to be in that position on. I never had to worry about my safety or the safety of my baby. I was just like, I said to Mel, like maybe every day, I was like, I don't know how you did this so late in your pregnancy, because I was so sore at the end of the day. Like I was just sore and it was heavy and my joints were all loose and I was like, fuck, this is hard.
I just saw you crawling back in a wave, and I was like, shit.
But I never ever felt like there were so many people checking in with my safety the whole time. I never felt worried.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it looked amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So Karen Knox played the big bad. She was Mina. She did an incredible job. So this is a question for everybody, but I'm going to start with you, Melanie. How was it working with Karen Knox coming onto the show or movie?
It was fantastic. It was, you know, I was like, get her up. I think one of the first things we did was in the snow, like when she's just leaning on me and like putting her weight on me and like yelling, and it's just like, spit in my face. And she just really went for it and get her way up, worked it. And yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you guys over from the.
You're doing perfect.
You're doing great, Mel. We can hear you fine. You're doing great. Emily, what about you, casting-wise? Was she on your list? How did she get involved in the project?
Yes, like everyone's on my list at the beginning. But Knox is like a real force in the Canadian scene. She is like a auteur and like director unto themselves. You should all watch Barbell on Tubi if you've heard on Tubi. It's really good. Just such an incredible, she just felt so Earp even when I saw her in other things, that the second she was first on set, she just got it. She got the campiness and the grittiness, and her hair could compete with Mel, which was amazing. Tried to compete, Mel, tried to compete. But just like, she felt like she fit so perfectly. I think I knew a lot of us, I think, a little bit beforehand, but, and was a favorite of Tubi, too, I think. So just was such a perfect fit. And I can't wait for you guys to meet her, actually. She's pretty amazing, so I'm sure you will. You'll love her.
Danny, how about you?
I know her from beforehand. And when I saw you guys cast her, I was like, oh, she's the perfect villain. She's just, she's a force. She beats to her own drum in this industry, in life, and she gives no fucks. Like, she is the epitome of cool, and she showed up, and I don't think she took her foot off the gas the whole time. Like, she was just ready to play, and I think, and I sent her a bunch of texts, too, over the weekend of cool earrings that you guys made, and and we've been talking a lot about coming to conventions and stuff, and she's really excited to come and meet everybody. And I was like, oh, you're just gonna like slither in there, like you've been a part of it the whole time. She makes so much sense. It was like a brilliant casting choice on your part. Brilliant.
Let's keep going down the line. Greg, how about you? How was it working with Karen?
I walked up to her the first day we met, and I said, oh, you're the Antichrist Wynonna. And it was a good thing that we were on the same page, and I wasn't talking out of turn. No, she was terrific. She was very generous. Just the kind of actor you want to work with. She checked, all the boxes are ticked. She was great. And you're talking about her foot never being off the gas. Like, even at the wrap party, when we're not actually in front of a camera, she was on and really interested in everybody that was there. That's a good quality to have. I liked her.
Yes, Mel?
I always knew the devil was a Karen.
Write that down, write that down.
That down.
Good one.
Dom, how about you?
Yeah, similarly, I echo definitely what everyone said. She's just so fun. I think that's the word that I would use for Knox. Just like really fun, like full of gratitude for being there, which is obviously what you want. You want people to get up, and you want them to just like jump right in wholeheartedly, which is exactly what she did. And then it was we had like a dinner when Varun was in town, which was so nice, and I was sat opposite her, and that's when I actually started to really get to know her, and I was like, oh my God, she's so like cool. Like she just is really like interesting, and I didn't realize that she was a filmmaker, and she was giving me loads of advice and stuff. Just thought it was a really great call to bring her in.
Awesome. How about you, Kat?
Yeah, I'm like Danny. I'm a huge Knox fan. Knox and I actually were only, we were a year apart at theater school, so I've known Knox for a really long time, and I've been a massive fan of her directing work and her as a filmmaker. I actually think I like texted you when I saw her on the cast list, and I was like, this is such great casting. I was just, please check out all her work. She's super talented and like awesome, and like, just what everyone has said is true. She's fit right in, so we were so excited that she was coming. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So this question is for Kat and Greg. The scene outside of Mercedes' wake between Nedley and Nicole is a beautiful scene, and there's so much going on, obviously, because they're mourning Mercedes. Wynonna's back in town, so there's a lot going on. And, you know, we see Nicole sort of heading down the same road that Nedley was on when we first meet Nedley in the pilot, sort of trying to keep the demons a secret, right? It's always coyotes. It's the coyotes that are killing all the people. Do you want to talk a little about that dynamic and how Nedley has sort of turned the corner on trying to protect the people by telling them lies about it, and sort of why do you think Nicole thought that was the best way to go once she became sheriff?
Well, when I read the script, I recognized right away that there was a Nicole Nedley scene and a Wynonna Nedley scene. And I've always been focused on making those two relationships different. And particularly with the Nicole scene, I've always been focused on how that relationship is evolving, like it's changing. Not so much the Wynonna Nedley. That's always sort of, in my mind, and tell me if I'm wrong, Emily, but in my mind, that's always been sort of a steady, if it is father-daughter, it's a tough one. It's where they don't necessarily maybe like each other, but it's undeniable that there's that sort of, especially since her father was a dick. But there's that steady kind of tough love kind of thing, which is different than the Nicole Nedley relationship. So, and that was the last scene I shot in the shoot, and so I was pretty concerned about getting that one right, just because I wanted them to be different.
Yeah, totally, so good. MVP.
Thank you. But the important thing for me is is to show that he was scared. Is for a man to admit that he was scared is an important quality. And the bravery in that scene is being man enough to admit that you were wrong and not to let anyone, help people not make the same mistake. That's all I got.
It's beautiful. I love, the thing I love about that scene is the line, the old you wouldn't have been friends with the likes of Mercedes, that matters. That was my favorite line in that scene. And I think it like sort of epitomizes the Earp ethos in a way too, of like honoring the evolution and that people can change and that we can bring people into our hearts that maybe we didn't think we could. And yeah, it was also my last scene that we shot. And I think it's interesting to see that Nicole has now taken the stance that she was so against at the beginning. It's really interesting, like once you have the power, like once you can really make the choice, are you still sticking to what you said you would at first? And I think it's nice to have Nedley be like, don't do that. Don't make the same mistakes. But I still like, even I'm like, I don't know how she would protect people and tell them the truth at the same time. That's a tough one. That's a really tough balance that I think Nicole is like scared also. So,
Well, a really important line in that scene was, no one's died for a long time in this way. So they've been, it's almost like a surprise attack. They have let their guard down, and then just when they let their guard down and they start feeling comfortable and safe, Mercedes is ripped to pieces, you know, and that makes it so, you know, overwhelming. They've been caught off guard.
and it's that self-blame too, I think, especially people who work in like law enforcement or anything that has to do with saving somebody's life. It's that guilt. And then it's your friend, and yeah, they're responsible. It's a lot. It's a lot. Well, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but yeah.
Like also caught off guard, but also unarmed, because Wynonna isn't there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And realizing, I think maybe for Nicole, how much Wynonna does need to come back. Like she can't do it all by herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, you guys are so smart. I'm serious. It was so good.
Emily, this one's for you. Down at the end. So this special allows current fans to jump back in after 18 months, roughly. And during this special takes place over about, 3-ish days,
Sure.
batshit crazy days.
Yeah.
So we are, as we've all seen Wynonna Earp, right? So we're almost having to catch up with our favorite characters as much as new viewers are, kind of like what they've been up to in the last 18 months. What were some of the discussions about some of the context that you had to cut for the new viewers? You talked a little bit about, some of the scenes that were cut, but what are some of the context, such as the Dark Angel Waverly, or just things that you didn't want a whole bunch of exposition on?
Yeah, like honestly, almost to the last moment, I tried to keep as much mythology. You're really walking a tightrope of like the mythology and hoping Josh isn't reading too closely or whatever, but then I tried to give Easter eggs, like I said, that the reason Waverly is able to weather the possession is because she's special and she's an angel and whatnot. There's a lot of like exposition you have to do in 90 minutes too, like the scene where she can't see beautiful Mel, but when Wynonna is like talking to Paco Daisy about, oh, who's Wyatt Earp and all that, and Doc Holliday, like just reminding people who don't know who Wyatt Earp is, and that Doc Holliday was the greatest gunslinger that ever lived. And even I would say, I've said this, like I think Nicole and Wynonna's relationship almost took a step back. Do you know what I mean? You have to be like, well, these two are best friends, but they're also going to kill each other sometimes. You know what I mean? They have a very like fun sisterly relationship that's different than Waverly and Wynonna. So you kind of just have to very quickly teach newbies how these people feel about one another, what the dynamic is, where there is drama, even though they're a family and whatnot. And I think we did do the best we could, but I also feel like Vengeance was such a learning experience for me that I would hope when we come back, if we do, if we do, Josh was like, please don't go on the panel and announce anything. I don't have anything to announce, but I could go rogue. No, I won't. I would love to put back some of those things that I think make up the fabric of Earp. I think you've had your chance to catch up. Now jump on the bus and we'll do it the way we want to a little bit. Maybe, yeah.
Awesome.
I hope that answered your question.
It was great. Melanie, can you hear me okay? All right. Oh, yeah, I think she can. Okay. In what ways do you think Wynonna will be forced to evolve and grow now that she's without Doc?
Ooh.
No pressure.
A real easy question.
That's a great question. I literally played that, like, I say that like she has to believe she's coming back. I don't think she believes that it's the end. So it's hard for me to even answer that because I don't think I think she's in full on denial and is like, he's coming back. Like the way when she's talking to Varun, it was like, it's not if, it's when you're going to fix this. I think that's what allows Wynonna to then go off and be deputies because she's like, this is temporary. And until he comes back, I'll do it. But I think that would be the mission.
Yeah, I think we believe he's coming back too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
That's fine.
You have so many notes.
I know.
Danny.
Hi.
So much of Mercedes' character has been informed by her costumes. You have been in some incredible costumes, and the special was no different. What was it like meeting the Boots for the first time?
Oh man, I hope you guys got to see that crew panel earlier because yeah, Jen was, and like some of the other people from her team were here as well. And I mean, she's so great because, you know, sometimes you go in those wardrobe fittings and you try on all this stuff and you're like, yeah, this is nice, but with her, it's like, whoa, fuck, this is so cool. And then she brings in another outfit and you're just like, how did you just top the last one? Like, but I think when we put on that highlighter outfit, we both knew that that was gonna be the one that everybody chose, because also we try those on and then it goes through like Emily and the directors and the producers, and then they all collectively decide which they land on. And then I don't usually know until I get to set and open my trailer and see it in there. And so I opened it and I was like, oh, yes, that's the one they went with. And I don't know, it was just, I never feel like her until I'm in the wardrobe. And I've heard actors say that for decades, but this is the first job that I've ever experienced that on, because it's so different than who I am. Yeah, I mean, I got to basically be in drag. Like for me, you know, as a person, I felt like I got years of being in drag, and it was heaven. Heaven.
So, but you were running on the ice in those boots.
Yeah, but so was Greg.
No.
You ran.
Well, yeah, but the lake was fine. But I don't think they're going to let me run again because I keep falling down. No, the lake was good.
The lake was good.
It's when the ground is uneven and icy.
Yeah.
That it's challenging.
It was hard when we were in the forest with Knox.
Yes.
When she killed me, like that, I felt like that was harder than the lake. And also they screwed these metal things into the bottom of my boots, so I had a lot of grip. And I was not doing a fraction of what Mel and her stunt double were. Like, that is something else. I was like running off camera, but they were running across. Right. Oh, it was stunning.
Yeah, the cleats, little studs in the bottom of the boots, when the ice is flat, you honestly don't slip at all. Yeah. It's just like running on asphalt, you know. So it was deceptively safe.
Danny, we have another question for you. Okay. Let's talk about the pizza box. So it's a practical effect, right? So you were kind of like hunched down on that desk.
Yeah.
Did you have a little stool? It just seems so uncomfortable.
No, it was great. We have the greatest crew. It was like a desk like this. They sawed a hole out of the middle of it, and I climbed underneath, and they gave me a little apple box with a cushion to sit on, and then they, big burly crew member comes and puts real pizza around my face, and then, and then Kat sat.
We did try to give you. We asked you what kind of pizza you were comfortable.
Yeah,
with. We did.
100%.
We 100% did.
Yes,
Incredible.
like that's how considerate they are. And then Kat came and sat down and just was like, "Hey, dude, how's your day going? How's it going?" And maybe took a little video of it as well. And yeah,
That's on your phone. That's not on my phone.
It is.
It is.
Sure is.
Sure is.
Kat, what was it like coming to set and seeing Mercedes on a pizza box?
It was just very funny. I mean, it's really hilarious. Danny's there, we're having a chat. I'd just like to set the record straight on this pizza box. I did not hit Danny with my gun. I grazed Danny's face with my very real, very heavy gun.
Can we get?
You did not hit her. You did
And
not
was
hit her.
mortified, or like not mortified, it was scary because I really could have hurt her. But I didn't hit her.
Danny, do you agree with that version of the story?
Yes, we're good, guys.
You know that thing you were saying about feeling safe about your pregnancy? I can't really think of another set that would feel like I would feel as if I were pregnant on the set. Like that doesn't. That's so rare that you go to set and feel that.
Especially like something
safe.
with so much action. And
Yeah, that's a true testament to Emily and the crew and how amazing they took care of us all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Dom. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We'll get it someday. With Nicole being able to leave the Ghost River Triangle, how did that play into Waverly's reluctance to communicate her needs, maybe of wanting to leave?
Yeah, we spoke a little bit about this on yesterday's panel, and I think that for the longest time, Waverly was denying her own desires about leaving, because it was almost like, well, we can't even think about that, because I'm not going to leave you here. This is where we're at, and that's okay. Like, you've sacrificed, therefore, where you go, I go. Like, therefore, I sacrifice the same thing, and I'm going to steal what you said yesterday, Kat, but, like, it's perfect. Like, we can go camping for the weekend or set the tent up in the garden. Like, we're fine. And then, but yeah, inevitably, when you're trying to suppress your, like, deepest desires, other people see it in you. And then that lovely scene with Wynonna by the fire, it was like Wynonna really sees Waverly and what she wants, and was probably the catalyst in bringing that out of Waverly and giving her the courage to actually listen to what she needs and what she wants, and have the courage to speak to her beautiful wife about it.
Yeah. And those sound like lovely date nights as well. Emily, maybe you could write some of those.
Sure, yeah.
Camping in the backyard, way hot.
Yeah,
I'd
they
like
got to get a soaker tub. They got to get a soaker tub. Got to put it in. So
No one wants to see that.
So Emily, in the shooting contest between Doc and Lafferty, Doc misses that last shot. Is that the beginning of the end of Doc Holliday, or what is Doc's? Hold on.
There's Sunday Rowdy.
It's in the script. He says, he's John Henry, like Doc Holliday is
gone.
Gone. So my question is, what is Doc thinking in that moment?
I have an opinion, and I think Tim has an opinion, but this is one thing I'm going to leave a little ambivalent, because I want you guys to have your own opinion. I've said this before. Like, do you think Doc missed because he was trying to bamboozle? I'll stop, I swear to God. That's it. But trick Lafferty because he never trusted Lafferty? Okay. Or do you think he never misses? I know. Okay, I'm looking over here now. Or do you guys think that he misses because the universe is trying to tell him in this supernatural way that he says he's a man out of time and has two meanings? No. Okay, no is the answer. God, I got to get out of here alive. Yeah. But I think there's lots of Doc Easter eggs and tidbits that Doc has lived for a long time and attuned to a lot of stuff. But he's also a great fucking gunslinger. So, yeah. Okay. No comment.
That's fair. I get it.
All right. Melanie and Greg again. Greg, you talked a little bit about your relationship with Wynonna. And Melanie, can you talk maybe a little bit how, sorry. I know, it's so confusing. Comparing the scene from the pilot when you saw Wynonna coming back for that first time, coming back to town, it was very tense, a little combative. To jumping forward to Vengeance, that very supportive and loving conversation in the cemetery, and that evolution of your relationship with Wynonna, and vice versa, Mel.
Yeah, first season, Nedley was a dick. But when Nedley didn't go away, like I thought he was going to, I had to sort of for myself rationalize what that first scene was all about then, and the only thing I could come up with was tough love. And I had to sort of think about their history together, and Wynonna at 8 years old, and Wynonna as a teenager, and Nedley dragging her out of an alley where she was kissing a boy, and I had to make all this stuff up in my head. So, and as time went on, my favorite scene between Nedley and Wynonna for the whole project was after Dolls dies, and she goes down into the morgue, and she finds Nedley guarding his body, and there's a little moment of tenderness between them where he says, "I'll be here until you do." That tenderness kind of pays for, it gives me the right to be really mean for the rest of the for the rest of the thing, because it plants the seed that there is a tenderness between them. And like in the graveyard scene, I think the thing that informs me the most is that he can be as tough as he wants, but the fact is that she doesn't walk away. She listens to him. I mean, she could say "fuck you" and walk away, but she doesn't. And that kind of informs me as to their relationship. They're tough with each other, And maybe he's just getting something back, because when she was a teenager, she was probably just hell.
Yeah.
How about you, Mel?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think at the beginning, I think before Wynonna left, I think that we probably was like,
Yeah.
this asshole. Because I think she was probably a lot, and I think, and not in that way, just in like that he's going through trouble, but I don't think that they have the same understanding of each other, and as time progressed, I think it then became like a mutual respect thing, and I think, the toughness in cemetery is, I think Wynonna needed that. I think that's what, she was just like, just spank me and tell me to be on my way, like, don't, it's that thing when you're already vulnerable and people are like, "Are you okay?" And you just break down into tears. She didn't need that. She needed somebody to be like, "Yo, fuck off."
Yeah.
And that was exactly what she needs in this one.
And also, Nedley was scared in that graveyard scene because they needed Wynonna.
Yeah.
And if she started second guessing herself, we were in big, big trouble, because she's the only thing we got.
Yeah.
Super important.
Doesn't matter how hard it is for her, she's still the only one who can do it.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good.
This isn't a question, generally speaking. I think all the Nedley scenes are maybe all my favorites.
Yeah, so
Not, yes. In Vengeance. Just beautifully performed and beautifully written. That's just a comment I'm going to make. Mercedes has always been sort of a bit of the comic relief on a show that has a lot of comic relief. But when we first meet Mercedes, she doesn't seem like the person that would sacrifice herself for anyone, especially Nedley. I mean, would you disagree?
No, I totally.
So what do you think, what led to her becoming so loyal and becoming a member of the Earp crew? So when we finally do see her end, it's to she sacrifices herself for Nedley.
Yeah, I think it's like there's like an evolution. I mean, it makes me think immediately of like down at that scene that Mel and I had in Belshars, where there was that long dinner, and Mel and I had this moment. I don't know I wish I could remember what the line was, where I say something to her, and I think it's like what you were saying about like planting a seed. It was like the moment I realized how much she actually loved Wynonna. And how much she covers that, with jokes and quick lines. And I mean, fuck, I do that all the time in my life. I totally understand that vulnerability. And I think she, like Wynonna, felt really alone in that town for a long time too. And then when Wynonna went away, she left. And I do think Mercedes was really affected by that. And the fact that her and Nedley end up together and have this friendship, I think, means a lot more than she let on. And so I think it was a no-brainer, especially that scene where we're both running and you go and get the gun and the way that you stand up for me. And I don't know, I know it's funny and campy and all those things, but also to me was very touching and vulnerable.
Well, it was definitely a loss for Nedley. Like, it was a deep, deep loss, which speaks to their friendship. I mean, yeah, he's sort of sad that he's getting older and slower and he's blaming himself and all that nonsense that retired guys do. You can't do what you used to do, and you cry about it a little bit. But I think the main impact was that it was Mercedes, which really kind of speaks to the kind of friendship that they had.
I would also like to just say, if that's okay, that I think there is something in Wynonna's character where Wynonna is the hero, but she also gets the most shit. Like she gets everything awful happens to Wynonna, and she has to be strong and deal with all of this. And I found it moving that both Mercedes and Doc's last words were about Wynonna. Do you know what I mean? That Mercedes was like, I wish I could be here to watch that bitch kick your ass. Like, that to me is like love as well in a weird way. Like that they know this is about Wynonna, but this probably isn't Wynonna's fault, but Wynonna's gonna have to clean up this mess. Like, that just was another moving thing for me about how much Mercedes loved Wynonna. I don't know.
Loved her, yeah, I totally agree. I think it's just two badass, strong women that are very different from each other that struggle with intimacy too, and so that's how it comes out. Yeah.
Wynonna has the power to break your heart. I think when Nedley hears about her in the fire truck with the firemen, I think it just breaks his heart. It's like when are you gonna grow up? But that's out of love.
Yeah. That's the Melanie Scrofano.
I also think the link, as you guys were talking, I was like, oh, Wynonna and Mercedes both also, I think, have that need for tough love because they're so similar. And Nedley is, like, as you're talking, it kind of became less surprising that they would be friends. Because it's a nice, encouraging that friend to, smarten it up. I think Mercedes can use that just as much as
Emily, we get to see a younger version of Wynonna in this special, and with some beautifully shot scenes with Rebecca Todd, and some of them in a way edited together, interacting. And how did those scenes come about? And Emily and Melanie, filming those scenes, and just getting to see a little bit more of what shaped Wynonna and what that really looked like. Because if it's one thing to hear about it, another thing to see it, what she went through.
Mel, do you want to take this? Can she hear me? Talking about your scenes with young Wynonna? Yeah. Oh, God. No, I thought Rebecca was such remarkable casting for Wynonna, for Mel. I'll let you talk about the day, but I would like to say, as always, with Mel's generosity, I think Mel, tell me if this is right, Mel, I think you read the lines as you thought Wynonna would say them, so then Rebecca could sort of memorize your cadences and stuff, and that's why, part of the reason it was so effective. So thanks, honey.
That's
yep.
cool.
Oh, wow.
That's very cool. Okay.
Mel, what about you? How were those scenes for you?
Yeah, well, first of all, I listened to the interview at City. It was really interesting to see, because of all these years playing Wynonna, I had imagined what her childhood was like, and so to go and see her youth and like where it felt more visceral. And then, anyway, and then when it was kind of one of the scenes that we were shooting where I'm in the room with Rebecca, that was actually just because I wanted to hang out. I was done for the day, but I love Paolo Larson, and I just wanted to see this scene. And I was like, I watched the walking, and Paolo was like, oh, and then I was standing in a corner, much like I am right now, and he was like, okay, you did no, you didn't say no, intuitive, and he's so in the moment, and he just saw something in the moment that we couldn't have planned for, and so it was quite special.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you stayed, because for me that was really one of the most powerful shots and most beautiful, seeing the two of you side by side. So, yeah.
Amazing. So actually, we are unfortunately running out of time. We have two more. I know we have two more questions. We're gonna try to power through these, but no pressure to the guests answering the questions. So the Waverly Wynonna dynamic in this in Vengeance, obviously at the beginning when we first meet Waverly, she wants so much to be involved. She has all this research. She wishes she's the heir, and at the end of Vengeance, Wynonna is encouraging her to go off on her own adventure, when in the pilot, Wynonna wanted Waverly to have nothing to do with all this stuff. Can you guys, the two of you, kind of discuss your perspectives of their relationship at this point when we see them in Vengeance?
Melly, do you want to go first?
Sure, I can see you, but
Hi, I miss you.
I miss you too. I can't wait to hear what you do. Also, I was just touched by the idea that Wynonna had, she thought to go away at the beginning. When she comes back at the beginning of season 1, she had been on her adventure, and we really never got to do that. So I think Wynonna recognizes that restlessness in her sister. And I think if anybody understands that restlessness, it's Wynonna. So I thought it was really cool that she was able to know her so well and know what she needed to be able to, much the way Waverly sees it, Wynonna, she's the one who tells Wynonna that she's in love with, that Wynonna's in love with the doctor. Well, I mean, Wynonna can see in Waverly that what she needs as well, maybe better than she can articulate herself.
Beautiful, well said, Mel. All I'll add is that I think like Wynonna is such a big inspiration for Waverly. Like since she was a little wee one, like just always looking up to Wynonna. And so the fact that she gives her permission, in a sense, that it's her time, is probably the thing that then allows Waverly to go and really spread her wings. And I just think that's such a beautiful dynamic that we see at the end.
Great. I think we have 2 minutes. Do you want to, Tara, do you want to power through that next question real quick?
Sure. Okay, for Kat and Melanie, talk about your relationship a little bit now. It's a little tense, right? What discussions did the two of you have as far as where they're at, where we left things in for the season finale, or the series finale, I should say, and where you are now, and some of those maybe behind the scenes conversations you had on how to play that? So I'm looking up at Melanie like she can see me.
Yeah. Mel, do you want to? we didn't have a ton of backstories, conversations. Did we, Mel? Like, it was so much so much of it was in the script. Like, I think Greg and I, for myself, what Greg and I touched on earlier, this, like, I think Nicole knew Wynonna was gonna come back. She knew it couldn't stay good for long, and she knows, like, deep down, begrudgingly, she needs her. Right. She needs her. It's Wynonna. It's always been like, it's you. It had to be you, Wynonna. It's the same theme, right? It's always been you. So I think, for me, it was very in the script. For Nicole, and it's always this like begrudging love for Nicole.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Mel?
I don't know, Mel.
No, yeah, we didn't talk about it much. I think for me, but I suspect I'm not the only one, there's a lot of, we just kind of know at this point.
Yeah.
There's not much we need to say. I think these relationships are so solidly formed, and I think they're so fundamentally within us that we kind of go, okay, of course she feels like this, and one feels like this, and I'm just like it. So that's the beauty of it, that I don't feel like just show up and understand and connect.
So unfortunately, that's our time. But Melanie, I want to give you the last word because I know obviously you wanted to be here so bad. Do you want to say something to the Earpers before we sign off?
I love you guys so much. I'm so sorry. I was covered in blood. I swear to God, I tried. Day 2 of my period, it was not my blood. It was so frustrating to not be able to be there with you, especially in Calgary on home turf with our crew. I was so excited. I'm so sorry. And the beautiful messages that I received, being like, don't worry about it, we love you, don't stress. It is like even more the reason I want to be there, because people who treat you this well deserve everything. So thank you, I love you, and I'm sorry.
We love you too, Mel. We love you too. Please give a big round of applause to our amazing cast, our incredible showrunner, and our star. Thank you all so much.
Even saw you nodding. I was like, okay, she's back on board. I wrote down a murderer. And I was like, when Nedley sees my note, you can see the murderer the first time. I'm just like, great question. Great job.
Mel's leaving us one more message. Thank you, Mel. Everybody sees it. There's the boobs. Everybody sees it, Mel. That's awesome.